Well, hello everyone. This is Joseph Osco with American News Post. Today is June 18th. It's Tuesday. I want to apologize. We advertised that we would be doing the show on Mondays and Thursdays. We had a rare exception yesterday. We were unable to do the show. One of the co-hosts had an urgent matter, and so we apologize for the false advertisement, and we'll work doubly hard to make sure that we don't false advertise our time slot ever again, but we are human. Today I am here with the usual cast of characters. Mr. Michael Magnafichi.
Hello everybody, Mike Maggs here to give you a weekend in review.
And of course our lovely Mr. Frank Coconate.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. All right, gentlemen. What do you have today? You're going to start with golf, I understand?
Well, I'd like to touch on the golf a little bit. Was disappointed that Phil Mickelson didn't. This will be his sixth runner-up to the U.S. Open. A little disappointed that he didn't get it. He was leading. He holed out for an eagle, and I think it was 13 or 14. I forget the hole. Looked like he had everything, but Justin Rose is the first Englishman to win since 1970. You know, to win the U.S. Open. Who
shot that hole in one? You see the hole in one?
Yeah, I did, and you know what? I should know that, and I don't. But I apologize.
But I mean, he wasn't even in the.
He wasn't even the mix of it. But it was the first hole in one in U.S. Open history. It
was unreal.
Maybe it'll come to me who it was, but it was just I was disappointed because I'm a Mickelson fan, and I've never seen a crowd get so behind a guy that is like the lovable loser.
Yeah.
They want him to win so much.
Right.
You know, it's not like they say, oh, he's disappointed.
But isn't that his track record, Mickelson?
Well, he's always looked good. That Valhalla, like 3 years ago, where he had a two-shot lead going into the last hole, and he had chooses to hit driver off. He could have hit 3 wedges onto the green, made bogey, and win by 1 shot. He hits driver, hits it in the trees, and he screws it all up. Makes double bogey to lose.
Right.
You know.
Right. And where was Tiger in the mix? Was he even around?
Tiger was the worst tournament he's ever had in the U.S. Open. He was 13 over.
What do you think's going on with him?
I don't know. It's.
I know he just got married again.
I always said that. Well, no, I think he's going to though.
Oh.
That tall blonde girl.
That could be part of the reason, maybe.
Well. Nah, he's pretty focused. The thing that with Tiger is that U.S. Open golf courses is a premium on hitting fairways. They shorten them up to 30 yards.
Right.
And Tiger likes to bomb the driver. Phil Mickelson didn't even carry a driver in his bag.
Right.
He put an extra 2 wedges in his bag rather than carry a driver. So he wouldn't even be tempted. Like even on a hole, he thought, well, you know what, I need a little more length there. I'll just hit my 3-wood or my 5 that'll, you know.
Is this the course you said are arc? Like,
right.
They're not flat, they're like a bubble.
And, you know, being that they had so much water out there, this course is surprisingly played tougher than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I thought that would be the score if it was dry out there. Here it was saturated with rain. They had to call it a couple of times.
Right.
And they still went out there and still, you know, won the tournament.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
You know.
See, Tiger's game is the long fairways and stuff, and putting too, right? He could, that kind of course, isn't it a lot of luck too, doesn't it?
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of discipline out there.
Right.
You cannot. You just have to think of fairways and greens because par is a good score.
Right.
Most courses you gotta shoot 16 under, 15 under to win a tournament. So you're looking at birdies all the time.
Right.
This course here, just make pars. Birdies will come to you. And when you do that, that's when the U.S. Open comes to you.
Right.
You cannot attack a U.S. Open golf course because the rough is this thick, 8-10 inches thick, and half the time the guys hit it in there, they whip the ball coming out of there. These are the pros. They can't even get it back onto the fairway just to make bogey and go on to the next hole.
Right.
It's tough for them to even do that.
And what was it at again?
Pardon me?
Where was the tournament at?
Marion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Georgia?
That's in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Philly, yeah.
Yeah. You want to move on to the next sport?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the. Well, if you want to touch on the hockey a little bit.
Yeah. They lost. They lost.
Yeah. You know the
fans are all weeping, crying today.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Boston's going to be tough. Their goalie he's pitching shutouts. And it's hard not to you can't sit there and give up 2 goals to Boston with the goalie, you know.
Right. This is what the Hawks' worst nightmare was. You know, you got a team that's big and strong. They're animals. I mean,
right. They're
you got a guy. It looks on skates. He looks like he's 7 foot tall. Zeno or Zena or whatever.
Whatever those.
But they're fast. They got athletes.
Right.
I mean, you know,
the Hawks have the speed though.
But you know what? I get just disappointed in Kane and a couple other guys. I love Bickle. I love Sharp. I mean, but the 2 stars.
They're not doing it. And
no.
what's happening is they're not getting the power play advantages.
Right.
They're failing on the 5 power plays they've had.
They don't shoot. They don't shoot. I'm watching last night. They're playing with the puck. They're dancing around. Boston gets the puck, goes down and shoots.
Right.
It looks for a rebound if they can get one. And you know, I'm not disappointed at the coaching. Quinville's a great coach. It's the players. I mean, there's
only so much
Shaw was annihilated a couple times, and for that guy to get up and to play, I mean, they tried to kill the guy.
Right.
But
Boston's a bruising team.
They are.
And that's what the Hawks, you know, that's where their speed should come in. You should be able to skate around the bigger fellas.
Right.
You should be able to get, you know, more good looks at the net. And they're not getting a lot of shots on goal.
Right.
And you're not going to score.
I saw Kane one time. Somebody set him up, and it might have been Shaw on a pass, or maybe been Taze. He missed the whole net. He was looking to aim at the little corner, like a 4-inch area. Just shoot.
Let somebody deflect it.
Yeah,
Let it bounce off.
Right.
And, you know, that's why most of these, it's not like the old days.
I think they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, I really think they're in trouble.
You're down 2-1, you're in trouble.
Right.
You know that. In Boston, you know.
Boston smells blood. I mean, I'm a Blackhawk fan, but I still,
me too.
You know,
I'm Blackhawks
Boston's
blue.
a tough team. Them East Coast teams, you know, they're just, you know, they're tough. They play a different brand of hockey.
Right.
And
well, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, it's only 2-1.
It's only 2-1, and you know, anything can happen. Hawks come back, and when they tie it up, it's 2-2.
2-2.
You know,
and it's a critical. It's a critical game. The next game is critical.
Well, sure. You don't want to go down.
Take their heads out of their butts.
Yeah. And they came back and won.
Right. But this is Boston.
This is Boston. They don't want. This was a first-round playoff
game.
It's
the Bruins. They're just.
They're playing.
This isn't.
Seed then.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
So I mean, this is not.
They gotta just pull out that extra heart.
They have to.
And get in there and they gotta hit. And you got guys like Shaw hitting, Bickle. You have but you know it's just like the Hawks lack those couple big guys.
Well, they got to get physical.
Yeah.
You got to get the littler guys to get physical with the bigger guys. You know how it is.
Right.
A little guy gives a punch to a big guy. The guy goes, "Hey, what the heck?" You know, I mean, the big guy gets taken back.
Exactly.
You know, so if they do that, I think that they'll have it. I think that this game is crucial.
Right.
I don't want, if they go down 3-1, it's not like the first series when they're playing an 8 seed.
Yeah, right.
If they go down, pretty much write it out.
If
you know.
they lose this next one, and it's in Boston, I think the next one.
Yeah.
It's in Boston, so we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
All right, what are we going to talk about next? We got the
basketball. I was in it.
We got the basketball.
Yeah, we got Game 6 tonight.
Oh, guys, if I may interject, I stepped out for a minute, as you would know, and I know we started with golf.
And we talked about the Hawks.
Oh, you did go to hockey then?
Do you want to call our friend?
Oh, no. You wanted to talk about some basketball and then
we could call our friend up.
And then some baseball. And then
all right, sounds good.
And our friend who you're referring to is none other than Donald Johnson in Boynton Beach, Florida, right?
You mean the guy from Miami Vice?
No, not that Don Johnson. That's the Don from Miami.
This Don Johnson is about 88,000 pounds heavier than him.
Oh, I want to correct something. Last week you asked me, Frank, how old is Donnie Johnson?
Yeah.
I was incorrect. Donnie will be 78 this... Oh, correction, he'll be 79 this fall. I think I said he was 77 last
year. If you saw
week.
him, you would not believe that this is a 79-year-old guy.
Yeah.
He looks that fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
He sounded strong.
He is strong. You know, he played football. You know.
Yeah.
He did play ball. He played semi-pro ball.
He did. He actually, aside from the sports for a second, he did, as I mentioned last week, he was very close with certain friends of ours, or especially certain people, and Lou Campagna, his name came up, Lefty.
Yeah.
Lefty, according to Donnie, has 3 children, Joe, Dorothy, and Joanne. I think the son, Joe, died about 10 years ago from cancer. He was running the farm that they had somewhere in Indiana. I forgot the name of the place. But Donnie stays in touch with Lefty and Charlotte's daughter, Joanne, who lives in Arizona. And he calls her about once a year, and he stays in touch.
Listen.
Now, I didn't hear this from Donnie. I heard from another source. The man that Joanne Campagna married is a guy by the name of Tony Constantino, who was probably the only guy that we'll ever know of that allegedly cheated Joe B., who is, of course, Mr. Ricardo, out of a considerable amount of money back around 1950. And because Lefty was alive, it just went by the wayside.
Yeah,
Joe never did anything about it. Interesting tidbit about Donnie's connection. And sorry to get winded on that, but
you got to also let the viewers know, Campagna was one of the originators. The family Campagna, Little New Yorker, I guess they call him, was one of the originators of this whole organization.
Well, basically he became the boss after
Al.
Yeah.
After Al. Well, actually, it was Frankie Rio. Then it was he lasted 6 months. He died of cancer, and then it was Lefty.
Right.
Lefty Paul.
I mean, as a kid, my father used to say the guy was Little New Yorker.
Little New York, yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't like that, though. He didn't like that.
Going down the line from there, but not going into names of people who are alive today, my estimation would be that after Lefty and then Paul, I would say at that point, Paul had it till he died, basically, because no one, Joe B. or Mooney, would not do anything against his wishes, which made him the most powerful guy.
Under Paul.
And I think between 72 and 77, when Mooney was hit, I look at it as you had Joe B. and
where was Paul Ricca in all this? Was he
dead? After Paul died in 72,
right,
he's dead. You had Joe B. and Mooney sort of in a power struggle.
Well, Mooney was out of the country at the time. He was
in
Mexico. He took money.
But he expected that he could do what he wanted to do.
Come back and just step right back onto the stage. And it wasn't to be, I guess.
And within that 5-year period, a decision was made, and now we're minus Giancana and it's Accardo and his people, to the point where at his death in 92, I would think that Ayupa would have been the top of the tier at that point. And then now we get into the area we don't want to get into, because Michael doesn't want to talk about people who are alive today. And
running things.
I would say that the person who is alive, the person that's in charge right now, became that top tier guy after Ayupa's death in 97, and he's probably still the same person, but he remains nameless in this conversation. But he knows who he is.
That's a lot of people know who he is.
All right, so
Joe Batters, now let's go back to baseball.
No, we're going to talk about the basketball.
Oh, basketball, I'm sorry.
We got Game 6 tonight at Miami. And if you followed it, what you had, Miami has traditionally come back. They've not lost 2 in a row through the whole thing. And the beating that they put on the other team is substantial. It's a double-digit thing. San Antonio's had a 3-game lead. They're going to be in Miami for 2 days. They're going to play Thursday. They're going to play on Thursday.
Right. That's tough.
But Popovich, Coach Pop, he's the type of guy that he raises the white flag because he's got a little team. And if he sees that it's, second quarter, it's a 20-point deficit, he's like pulling his starters out. He's pulling Duncan out. He's pulling he's pulling Mano out. He's pulling out Tony Parker. He's doing this thing. You know what? I'm going to rest these guys.
Right.
I'm not going to exert them to lose by 6 points.
Right.
That's no win for me. I'll wait till Game 7 and do that.
Right.
And I'm just curious. I would not want to be going back into Miami on Game 7. I want to put my foot on the throat right now of Miami.
Right.
And I would exhaust the shit out of these guys.
Now when you got LeBron James.
LeBron is going to he's going to come out explosive tonight.
Yeah,
he's not even the key. If you give LeBron his 30, his 10, you can give him the triple-double, give him 30, 10, and 10. That's not going to even hurt San Antonio as much as that if Bosch comes out, he scores 20-something, grabs 10 boards, and if Dwayne Wade. If Wade comes out and he plays and he gives you 20-something points.
He's a critical piece.
Between the three of them, they're going to contribute 60 points.
Right.
Okay? Now they got, you got the Birdman, Chris Anderson coming off the bench. He's the Dennis Rodman of that. Like what we had with the Bulls, like he was.
He is absolutely crazy.
He hasn't played the last 2 games. Has not played. Here's a guy who averages no points at all.
Right.
But you got to bring him off the bench to rough up these guys a little bit. Because
they
are bigger. Right. He's just a bruiser.
Goes in there
but
and pushes guys. Flagrant foul.
Everybody in the world loves Miami tonight.
Really?
I'm going against it. I'm thinking Coach Pop is going to do that they win it tonight. I don't think they want to come back and
that would be amazing.
Would you want to come back Game 7?
No.
I would think that you go all out. This would be the game I want to go all out for. I'm not going to wait till Game 7 in another person's stadium.
Right. That should be their mindset, because if San Antonio loses, they're going to lose it. That's my opinion. And because you're right, in Miami, 2 games, LeBron's got this pressure to win, 10 champions. He loses this is a knock against.
They're already talking about the fact that the big 3, Bosch, Wade, and LeBron, are going to be dissembled no matter what after this year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Bosch.
Yeah.
He is not the power guy that they wanted. He's basically a 6'10" jump shooter.
Right.
He is not that.
He can be a star with another team.
With another team, with another big bad guy.
Right, like a Howard or somebody.
Exactly. They're going to have to go through Indiana again.
He'd be a good pickup for the Bulls, Bosch.
Well, I think he'd be excellent.
God. The Bulls can't get nobody. Who would they go get?
They need somebody.
They sure do.
Because you can't depend on.
They got a great coach, a fantastic coach.
Best coach in the league, I think. But that's my opinion on that game. And
it'll be interesting. Is he? We're calling up somewhere in Florida today, or?
I guess. I don't know what he's doing. Do you want to touch on the baseball a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about baseball. But that's where Donnie. What's his name? Donnie.
Donnie, yeah.
Donnie comes in.
Yeah, he loves. He's a good follower of baseball.
Well, the baseball teams are doing terrible.
Yeah, but Cubs are what 10 under 500.
They just get me sick. And you know what? Swave is. I think he's worn out his welcome to it. Is constant corporate. Playing this Carlos Marmol all the time.
Right.
And the fans.
He's blown more.
He's blown. If the Cubs would have split the games that this Marmol lost, they'd probably be at 500.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
500 doesn't take him out of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't take him because nobody's running away with the division.
No. St. Louis, Cincinnati.
Yeah,
St. Louis, Pittsburgh's in it.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's playing like the Cubs. I mean, but
they're behind the Cubs.
I don't go for all this strategy or this long-term building of this organization.
Right. Well, that's Theo Epstein.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
He did that with Boston. He likes to go through the draft.
Yeah.
To get players. He's not a free agent guy. He's not getting somebody. He's not going to take a Pujols that's been in the league 10 years and bank on him that he's going to give you 3 championships in the next 6. This guy's
I understand that. But you have some good players in place now. I mean, with Rizzo and Barney and Castro. You have no third baseman, but I guess they drafted a third baseman.
Right.
In the outfield, the Jesus is going to go, and they have all filling.
They're going to have to fill in some blanks.
Catcher, whatever. Pitching, they get some good pitchers.
I remember a guy, no pitching, no winning.
Yeah.
Right.
You
can only score so many runs.
And the Sox, they're a mystery too, because they got some good ball players on their team.
They were there right there.
Chris Sale, the pitcher, he's a Cy Young Award winner.
Detroit, I mean. Look at Detroit.
They're awesome. I like their coach.
Strikeouts already.
Leland's their coach.
Yeah, Jim Leland.
Leland seems like he's been there 100 years.
And they got 3 guys that have 100 strikeouts, 3 starters. That's never happened.
It's unreal. I can't think of the one guy. I can't think of their pit, but they're Verlander. That's it.
The other guys,
they're strong. But Pittsburgh's a surprise too with the guys they picked up off the scrap heap.
Mm-hmm.
There's Burnett, Lariano, I think's the other guy, and I forgot the third guy. They picked up some. I mean, the Cubs. There's no excuse for this losing like this. There's just none.
I have a funny feeling after the second half of the season that the Cubs are going to pick up some people. That's Epstein's kind of thing.
Yeah.
That he'll bring in some guys, and they're going to make like a little,
little run.
A little interesting. They're not
if they're going to bring up these farm guys like Zolar and some other guys, listen, do it now because, there's some fans out there now that say move the team. Who cares? They're sick of it now. They've had it.
Which I don't understand because, to me, Wrigley Field and Fenway Park are the only two in all of MLB that I would say, I've never been to Fenway. I want to go there. I want to sit on the Green Monster. I want to see the Green Monster.
You've been to Boston?
No, never have.
Been to Boston. What a town.
It's a great town, Aaron.
Yeah. I mean, they're Quincy Market.
But we'll see what happens.
I went there with Calabrese.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Frank Calabrese. Yeah. We were kids. A bunch of us went for the Italian Fest.
They're big with that.
Oh, it's beautiful, Boston. Boston's, if I had to be reincarnated somewhere, that's what I'd like to. Boston just in the history.
I feel the same as you do, because it's the second to Chicago.
Right. Boston, the Italian area is gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, the history. I love the history.
Right.
Paul Revere.
Right.
Joe Fosco. We're ready for the...
I stepped out of the studio, the satellite studio, for just a minute, and I heard my name. I guess I'll have to wait till the show goes on to know what was said.
We're ready for the... we were talking a little about the Cubs and Sox, but we're ready to bring in Donnie.
Okay, let's see if we could get him. He's usually good, but I know he's a little sore at us because he expected to go on yesterday. He expected we'd call him yesterday, and... He didn't get a call.
Maybe he's laying out with his G-string on.
No, he doesn't wear those. And
or maybe he's eating.
Well, that he enjoys.
He had a sandwich last time.
Right.
He said, "Let me eat my sandwich."
Right. It was his lunch hour though last time.
Right.
All right. So, guys, we covered everything on the list.
Everything there was.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just waiting on Donnie.
All right. Let's see.
Get his great perspective.
He does have a good perspective.
Well, he knows the history.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the phone ringing. Donnie, answer the phone.
Be on the boat or something.
He doesn't, he sold the boat.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He sold the boat. Well, I guess I could get him on what he calls the little phone. He calls his cell phone the little phone, and the house phone the big phone. I just tried the big phone. Now I'll call the little phone, and that one I bet will answer. He prides himself on the fact that he answers morning, noon, or night, rain, sleet, or snow. Let's see. He might be grumpy because he's not happy about the show not going forward.
Hello?
Hello, Don?
Yes.
Welcome to A&P's Sports Weekend in Review with Michael Magnafichi, Frank Coconate.
That's nice.
You know who I am, Joseph Fosco, publisher of American News Post. How are you today, Donald?
I'm all right.
Well, you had to get you on the little phone.
I got to get you because I'm still out. I'm on my way to dining, my dinner.
Oh, is it your dinner hour now?
Huh?
A little early today for your dinner hour.
Well, it's 12:30.
What is the businessman special?
Huh?
Well, dinner's
What?
actually
Is it
lunch.
the early man special?
Yeah.
So what's going on, Donnie?
Who's this now?
This is Frank Coconati.
I don't know yet.
Well-
That's all right. A lot of people don't know me.
You met him last week on the phone, and
I did.
Michael's here. So
Hello,
Is
Donald.
this the guy? Is this the guy that stood me up yesterday and had me sitting all day long? He didn't show up.
yeah, that's him.
That's me.
Don't worry.
All right, if I get my hands on you, I'll wring your neck.
It's all right.
He's got a pretty.
Get in line.
Yeah.
Take a number
Huh?
for that. Get in line and take a number, Don. He's got a lot of guys want to do that to him.
Yeah,
Got a lot of hair,
Mayor
what?
Daley, Rahm Emanuel,
Yeah.
but
What do you say? Who's chanting? I don't know. What are you talking about?
we're having some. We're joking over here. I'm sorry. Sorry to.
I don't joke. I don't joke at this hour.
Okay. So what are your thoughts about the weekend in review last weekend? What were some of the highlights in your perspective, Don?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
How about our great Chicago White?
The NBA?
Yeah,
The
NBA.
NBA is the hockey game.
Let's start with the NBA, Donnie.
Let's on the hockey game real fast for you. The Hawks quit skating.
The Hawks
The
what?
Blackhawks quit skating.
I see. Yes. So we'll start with Hawks. Hockey.
They don't want to. Huh?
We'll start with hockey then. Yes, they quit skating.
They're the faster team, Don, and they just seem like they gave up because the Bruins just are bigger than them. They're pushing them around. They got no power play goals.
They can't do nothing with a power play. They can't do nothing.
They haven't done anything.
They look very sorry out there, the Hawks. I think the Hawks are done. It might be done in 5 or 6 games.
Well, next game, if they go down 3-1, they came back from 3-1 in the first series. I don't see that happening. This is an 8-seed team they played in the first round. It's not going to happen with the Boston Bruins.
I think they're all done, really.
I do too.
They don't have the... So I just want to do one thing at a time.
That's fine.
I'm going to sit in the car and do the rest.
Yeah.
It's a hot one out here. It's a hot...
What's the temperature? What's the temperature in Boynton Beach?
Right now it's 92.
Oh,
and
that's.
it hasn't leveled out yet.
Well,
It hasn't leveled out.
you love that hot weather, don't you?
I like hot weather. Yes, it's good for you.
Yeah.
When you're on the
boat,
boat.
fire, get all the Germans out of you.
Yeah. With germs.
The
Yeah,
German.
get everything out of your system. Hot weather is good for you.
So, Donnie, do we have any perspective you would wish to share on the NBA?
The NBA, I think it's going to be a very. I see that the favorite became more with the Miami Heat tonight. That's what the paper said. But I think I like San Antonio. I think they're very much together.
Well, Donnie, what I was discussing with Frank earlier was the fact that Coach Popovich has a tendency to pull the plug, raise the white flag with the older team that he has very, very quickly. And if
Kellerman's and Mike Miller are big ball players.
They're good ballers. Yes.
Guys.
They're
That
good
guy
ballers.
that three-pointer is making all those 3 points.
Ginobili, yeah. Mono, if the Heat jumps out early in this game,
Green. Ginobili, the guy from Italy, Big
right.
Green, and he's
Ginobili.
not a 1-2 punch.
He's not from, he's from Argentina, but it sounds like he's from
Uh-huh.
Italy. Ginobili's from Argentina.
Is he from Argentina?
Yeah, he just got an
He
Italian name.
is good. He's
Very
come
good.
around, and Green was cut by about 3 different teams.
He was cut by the Spurs twice, and here he is. He leads the NBA in 3-pointers in the playoffs. Then the Spurs do
But he made
right
all
now
those
also.
corners. He's got the range out there, and they want to break him up. But they should go out there and maybe even foul him 1 or 2 times, get him on, and get him
Rough
off
him
that
up.
range.
That's
Get
right.
him off. That's what I would. If I was the coach for Miami, I'd say I'll give him a hit. Let him go to the line. He's not that sharp at the line.
No. For a guy that can hit 3-pointers like he does, you would think he'd be
But
a 90%
he's
shooter
in a
at the
groove
line.
out there. This is Mike.
Excuse me?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Is this Mike?
Donnie, Michael didn't hear you. What was that again?
I said, he's in a groove, and I don't see him getting out of that groove. I think
Groove.
He needs to be, well, if I was the coach for Miami, I'd go there and give him a couple of hits real hard and try to break that groove, even though it might cost him some points at the line. So what's the difference? If he gets 3 points from the line and 3 points outside. Right. He might not make all three from outside the circle.
We'll find out tonight. If Miami wins tonight, which is predictable.
And I know I want to discuss with you the manager of the Chicago Cubs. I watched the game. This is the worst manager in baseball. He couldn't manage. To me, he couldn't manage a little league team.
Swain. What's his name? Dane Swave or something? Swave?
I don't know what his name is. I think they got him for $1.280. They didn't pay no money for this guy. This guy is the worst manager in baseball. They still got that relief pitcher in there.
Marmol.
What's his name?
Carlos Marmol.
Marvel. The guy, I could hit Marvel. He either walks you or gives you a home run. The Chicago Cubs is winning 3-0 the other night against the Mets, and it was a sure winner. I don't know why they took they got that new thought. It's not a rule, a new thought in baseball. If the guy pitches so many balls, I remember when there was a pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. They call him Harvey Harluck Inning. He pitched something like 23 innings, and he lost the game. He had all bad luck. That's why they call him Harvey Harluck Inning. And those guys used to pitch 18, 19 innings. They won't do that anymore. I don't know why. The guys don't leave them in there.
Donnie, Michael's got a question for you.
Marvel is a terrible pitcher. I don't know what the problem with the Chicago Cubs, the head office. I don't know. There's something wrong with the Cubs. There's other teams out there that come up. They got a farm system. The Miami Marlins has got a good farm system. The St. Louis Cardinals have always had a good farm system.
Donnie?
What?
Michael has a question for you.
Donnie, do you remember when Wilbur Wood pitched a doubleheader with the Sox?
Pardon me?
Do you remember when Wilbur Wood pitched a doubleheader with the White Sox? That Harry Carey made kind of a...
Wilbur Wood. He might have came in the second game. I don't think he started both games.
He did start both games. He pitched 8 in the first.
He did start both games?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Harry Carey said that he would pitch all innings of both games. He pitched out of 18 innings, I think he pitched 16 and a half. 16 and a third.
That's right.
Yeah.
They did those things. They think they're going to burn the guy's arm out. They're not going to burn it out.
And he was a knuckleballer.
That's what...
And he was a knuckleballer. Who doesn't burn out your arm worse than a knuckleballer?
He was a very good knuckleballer. Wilbur Wood was a knuckleballer.
One of the best.
And then they used to bring his partner. What was the guy's name that used to bring? They used to bring Wood in there, and they brought a relief guy that was a fastball. And the batters were dumbfounded. They saw that ball floating up like a balloon, and then the next inning they bring a guy at 95 miles an hour in there. Who was the first pitcher to throw over 100 miles an hour?
I'm going to guess Bob Feller.
Bob Feller was it. It says Bob Feller. He threw a 101.
Last week, Donnie, we had our show on Thursday. It was the day after the triple overtime. Michael was up pretty late celebrating, and he wasn't...
Celebrating? Why would he celebrate?
Well, he was, just enjoying watching the game and rooting for Chicago, and he was up pretty late, and he wasn't his self the next day. He wasn't his best, but today he's back in the saddle, and we're very pleased.
Nice.
Well, Donnie, it was great hearing your opinions about everything. I think Joe would like to say a few things before.
Yeah. Donnie, where are you having lunch today? You want to give them a plug so all the people in Chicago... Want to say the name of the place so all these people in Chicago know where to have Chinese food?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's called China Garden in Boynton Beach.
All right. Hear that, everyone?
China Garden.
Everyone, when you book your next trip to Boynton Beach, make sure you go to the China Garden and tell them Donnie Johnson sent you.
Yeah, it's a nice restaurant. It's very, the air conditioning is nice in there. The help is nice. That's why I quit going to Frankie's.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to go. I'm not saying I'm going to go. The owner don't know how to say hello to
Is that in
Boynton? Anyway.
Donnie, is that in Boynton Beach?
It's in Boynton Beach, right around the corner from the that other.
Well, but it's Frank. So Donnie, I'm going to tell everybody in Chicago when they book their next trip to Boynton Beach, do not eat at Frankie's.
No,
well, I'm saying it.
Sure. The food is good. Don't get me wrong. The food is good. I don't like the bum wrap guy like that. The food is good.
Uh-huh.
But the guy, I was in there 2 to 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
He yet saying, "Hello, Don. How are you? How you been?
Not
how
a
you
friend.
Feeling? What?"
It doesn't sound like a friendly guy. Donnie, we're at a time limit here now. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
I'm chanting about, what else you want to discuss?
I think we covered.
I don't know why they keep that manager for the Cup. To me, he's the worst manager. I don't know what his salary is.
Couple million?
Huh?
Couple of million, Frank said.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
He's doing something right. Just isn't on the baseball field.
He knows how to grab $2 million.
His talent's in the
This guy's the worst manager in baseball. I'm an older man now, and I know I could do a better job than him, and I do it for a third of the pay. Third of the pay.
You hear that, Cubs? You got Donnie Johnson for about $700,000.
Yes, and I could do a better job than this guy's doing right now for the Cubs.
Would you hire Michael
to help you?
He doesn't
know he's alive.
Would you hire Michael and Frank to help you if we could get you a job for $700,000?
Sure, I would. Why not?
Okay.
Thank you, Donnie.
Donnie, we'll talk to you later. Have a good lunch.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. What should we have an announcement? I guess what we'll be back Thursday the 20th for our weekend review.
Right.
Isn't that right, Mike?
Yes.
Right, Frank?
Yes. Yeah, Thursday we'll be back for for everything that's gone on. By then we'll have if there is a Game 7 with the NBA, we'll know.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got Game 6 tonight. It's Tuesday. Thursday is Game 7. They're only doing the one. Usually they do like the Wednesday, Sunday thing.
Right.
They're doing it one day right after. So we'll have a lot to talk about that. We'll have another hockey game to talk about, and we'll touch on the baseball.
Good. Looking forward to it, guys.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.